Good afternoon, and welcome into another Titan Talk. Kilgun joining me here today, and he's having issues with his microphone.
It's very low. It doesn't want to go. I mean, it's
is that because Clumsy was there the other day?
Yeah, Clumsy was here the other day.
Messing around with things.
He's not a short person. He must just like lean down. I don't know. Maybe.
He just likes that position there. But welcome into another Titan Talk today. We're probably going to be taking quite a bit of Q&A.
Yeah.
And then just kind of recapping what we went over with OB20. We are in 20, right?
Yes, we are in
crazy.
20.
I've got so many numbers in my head with updates and stuff coming through.
It's really hard to keep track of it internally because we're going so fast and you're thinking several patches out. So it can be a challenge.
Yeah, so
I will just kind of preemptively apologize. I think that this was our roughest patch in
a minute,
a long
in a hot
time.
minute, I would say.
Our past few updates, we usually expect there to be something that we didn't catch, right? We do our best to make sure that we catch everything, but the last few updates, it's been shockingly quiet on update day, and there hasn't been much that's been really emergent and needing a hot fix. Yesterday there was a lot, and there is still a lot that we're cleaning up. We're going to go through what we've already fixed and talk a little bit about some of the things that still have to fix, and I'll elaborate where I can. But I just wanted to apologize because it's definitely not our goal to ship a broken update. There was a lot in this update, and some stuff that worked. This is the way it always goes. It works on PTS, and then you get it live and it doesn't work.
Something just goes wrong or changes.
Yeah, some of the environment specific setups for stuff cause things to break. And then we had the issue, it's not going to be on the patch notes, so I'm just going to mention it. You weren't working, so you didn't even see it. We accidentally set the game to, we were trying to update the version number for dev.
Yeah.
And accidentally in the wrong environment updated the version number for live. So live couldn't queue for an hour in the morning because version mismatch. Mm-hmm. It was just another
cacophony of errors
thing that, broke. So it was, it's a frustrating morning, frustrating day, but the team, I think, did a great job working through a lot of stuff. A lot of it's out already, and we'll talk through it. And anyway, that was just my quick preamble of sorry that it was a bit of a rough patch.
Yeah, for the most part, a lot of the issues we saw have been fixed. I'll go through them in a second, but remind us, smite2.com/bugs. If you've got any bugs, you can send them in there. Also, if you check in game, you can also see there's an opportunity to send in bugs there. I'm only mentioning this because I saw a couple of people pop up saying, how do we report bugs in a couple of different areas? I'm like, there's quite a lot of visibility on it, so just a quick reminder there. However, yesterday, a couple of fixes that went out regarding missing ground ruler line and 3D preview targeters. It seems to be fixed. A couple of the targets were available.
Yeah, they just weren't showing up for, I don't know if it was for every god or if it was just certain gods. But you couldn't see the line or I guess it was the ruler or the ground targeter.
Additionally, match lobby, we fixed a couple of issues allowing banned gods to be picked. Fix being unable to ban with a gamepad. Fix unable to be able to reroll or lock in on gamepad. And fixed missing god models on initial selection. Yeah.
And there's still a little bit about you have to click twice to lock in on console, which we're aware of. We still need to address that.
Yeah, I'll get to the list of stuff. I'll just go through what we did yesterday. So there were the fixes yesterday. Today, already this morning, you should see some match lobby visual improvements in terms of the lighting and background that should have been improved.
Yeah, so we went through and we recaptured and recreated the way that we were doing the backdrops because the old way just wasn't working. So they should be high resolution now. You shouldn't see the pixelization you saw before. And previously it was like a sphere, and that was causing some of the pixelation issues. And now it's more of a plane. I guess I don't know. I'm not a artist that did these things, but it looked better to me this morning as we were testing.
Additionally, the Wandering Pass visual improvements. We've added the missing chest acquisitions and removed false notifications when chests were not available.
Yeah, so part of that is, I believe this is one of the things. If you opened the market chest, the one that you can roll every day, and you got Wandering Market coins, there was no notification of that.
Right. So some of the notifications were missing there.
Yeah. So it was it felt like you opened it and you got nothing.
Okay.
But realistically, if you didn't get a notification yesterday, odds are you got Wandering Market coins and it just didn't show you that you got them.
Confirmation.
Yeah.
Also, Match Lobby fixed Draft Lobby unable to close settings menu with the gamepad. So if you open the settings menu, you weren't able to go back. So we fixed that too. And additionally, Loki Aspect Ability 1 fixes it. Now, scales with CDR per rank plus tooltip and buff bar icons have been fixed on that front too. So the Loki that everyone was like, why would you put no more than 1 point in this ability?
Yeah.
Now you want to do it just like
cooldown does go down.
Which does make sense.
Yeah. It was just an oversight. So.
And Clubsy just mentioned that in chat too, but I do have it in this document just to go over. Additionally, we do have some more incoming hotfixes a little bit later on today, maybe tomorrow, but likely today, I want to say. Osiris still showing angry face in the minimap. We're going to be looking at that. Sometimes can't pick God after role trading on gamepad. Being looked into, so it should be fixed. Match Lobby fixed for ultra-wide monitors. Who is out here playing on ultra-wide monitors in Smite? I just think that's crazy to me of like, why do you need that much room? Do you need to see Nuwa's butt that big across your screen? I don't get it. It just seems like crazy to have an ultra-wide monitor playing Smite. However,
ultra-wide monitor it's an interesting community. They are very vocal if things are not working.
Yeah.
But it's a very small percentage of people that play on ultra-wide monitors. My personal opinion is just get more regular monitors.
3 monitors?
I don't know. I don't understand the point of the ultra-wide unless you are like a driving sim player.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know why I would purchase one is all I'm saying. But like obviously there are some issues we need to fix. I'm not writing it off as like this is your fault, but
no.
I just from a personal perspective, I don't know why I would buy one of those.
Certain games. Let's say I agree with you, like racing games, like you said, and like games like FIFA or FC, I should call it now because it's not called FIFA anymore.
Yeah.
But that game, like being able to see the whole pitch, definitely advantages. But yes, also additional hotfixes coming in. We're looking at the Ancient Fury not spawning at the moment in Conquest. Obviously, Furies are spawning, but just not the Ancient one. And then a couple of things on our radar as well of things that we are investigating. We just don't have a timer on when these will be fixed. We're currently looking at gods that are turning invisible randomly. We're not exactly sure why. It's not happening too often, but it is being looked at. Osiris unable to attack or use any actives until respawn. Seems to be something looked at.
Yeah, people have reported that it's something to do with when you ult, but we cannot find any details on how to actually make this happen. It seems to be very rare because it's not something we're seeing a lot, obviously. If you have any more details on that in particular, that would help us track that down because honestly, it seems like maybe a specific set of circumstances that we're looking into with the data that we have. We can look at like we can look at matches where this issue occurred and look what other gods and items were in the match, but it's kind of tough sledding trying to figure out exactly what was happening at that time.
Footage is always useful, or like match IDs and stuff like that, but any information if you're like, I was doing this. For example, I know one of the bugs we've had previously was like Bluestone wasn't proccing, and it was because people were jumping out of fountain. Yeah. And that is a really hard one to really work out, that's the exact moment of why it wasn't working. Yeah. So please keep reporting on anything like that. Also, some trackers showing up as item name on God loadouts page. We are aware of that. It says item name, we're going to be looked at. And also I've got Match Lobby, you can click on enemies to see player names and double clicking to lock in gods, which is being looked at. So currently, if you actually hover over an enemy's name, I believe, in ranked, you can see who you potentially played against, which is a bit of an advantage, but it's going to get fixed soon.
Yeah, I thought that we had a server fix for that, but maybe not. Maybe it didn't work.
All I've got is on our radar down on this note. Well, and then additionally, a couple of people have mentioned as well, I just got this note regarding wandering market coins. Wandering coins, it's eating your coins if you completed the chest. Is what I've currently got down. We're aware that if you're rolling a chest and you've got everything in it, the coins have been taken, but I believe we're working on a fix for that. I'll have more updates later. I don't know what the plan is going to be. Just to be clear, I was asking this when they were told, but there's going to be something to fix that there.
Yeah, and the chest did reset today, so that is going to be our regular weekly reset, is on Wednesdays. So if you logged in yesterday and you rolled stuff, you logged in again today and you got to roll the weekly stuff again. So you took advantage of that, hopefully.
It was a week and a day.
Yeah.
And that's all the small notes I have at the moment. Additionally, I know Steam hasn't had any updates mentioned on there, but I will get those updated later on this afternoon, just with these hotfix notes that I've mentioned, along with this patch notes if there's any issues there. But for now, we can now start trying to take questions from chat, unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, I think that's mostly it. I don't have my phone today. I forgot it at home, so I can't look things up during the show. But hopefully there will be nothing that comes up that I need to look up.
That's a good point.
Yes.
If anything, you just keep talking. I'll just have to Google away and see what we can find up.
Is the wandering path permanent? So it's hard to say for 100% confidence that any feature will be in the game forever. But currently, we see the Wandering Path as a feature that'll be around for a while,
Okay.
right? And the idea is that at some point in the future, we don't have an exact date right now, but 2 months, 3 months from now, whatever the right cadence is, we'll reset the track part and we'll have new rewards on the track.
Yeah.
Because you only get those rewards up to a certain level. The store just is part of that UI and would stay as well. But yeah, no intent that it's going away anytime soon. But there will be, at some point, the current track will end and we'll do a new track of rewards. The only thing that's really like exclusive to this track is the pumpkin. Yeah. Everything else, I think, is more stuff that you could theoretically get anytime. So, yeah.
Okay, and from what I can see so far, I mean, it seems quite positive reaction to the chest and stuff. I guess chat is as well. But feel free to give us any feedback on
Some guy tagged me really excited. He got a skin in his free chest today. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, he was excited.
That's always a good day.
Yeah. And, a lot of people, it's a relatively low percentage chance that you'll get a skin, obviously.
Sure.
But, like, when you figure out, like, the size of the player base, the number of people that are going to get a skin every day, it's quite a few people that are going to get a skin every day.
Yeah.
And, the way we kind of worked it out, like, once a week or so, you should get something interesting, like a little bit more interesting, right? Like maybe an extra diamond day or a cosmetic or a skin or something. I think kind of on average, the math works out like that. So hopefully people like it and enjoy logging in and, getting free stuff. The power balance of active items appears uneven. Are there any plans to review or rebalance these items soon? Cooldown seemed the first place to look. Not sure exactly what your thoughts are on like how the balance is uneven. Do you think they're too strong? Do you think they're too weak? Are there specific ones that you think are OP? We definitely, or we'll read your feedback if you post it. But I think that we do look at items performance rate, regardless of whether it's an active item or not active item, and we try and take a look at things that are outliers. And that's why we balance the game several times a week. So, I would say if you have specific feedback, we'd definitely be interested.
Loki Aspect 1 gets worse as you level it. No effect changes. We just said that's already been hot fixed in, that you will see cooldown reduction now on Loki's Aspect first ability.
Yeah, so I believe it goes from 14 to 12.
Okay.
I don't know. I might be wrong with that. Clumsy can correct me. But like it goes down a little bit.
You'll see it in game more than we have it right here in front of us.
15 to 13. That was a pretty close, off the top of my head.
Not a bad guess.
15 to 13.
Not a bad guess. Yeah. Will Sylvanas be in ESET's PTS? Maybe too early to tell right now?
Too early to say at the moment. I would say maybe. He's
keyword.
Maybe. He's got, there's a few things that he needs before I think he would be ready to be play testable by a wider audience. We've been play testing him internally.
Yeah.
You've played him a couple days ago?
I played him last week quite a few times. Yeah. For the most part. He seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Although I do know there's like one bug at the moment, which was the pullback mechanic.
Yeah.
You could currently, just so you know, this is not intended from what I understand. Yeah. However, you could throw out your pull on Sylvanas, and on the way back, if you missed it, which I never missed, so I never really experienced this, it'll pull on the way back. You can still grab people and grab them, so miss them, and then they juke into it and then die and get pulled. So, that's
there was a thing. I played him yesterday, and he was pulling people to his center instead of in front of him. So if you pulled somebody and then you walked forward, the person would be trapped behind you.
Okay, that's good thing. That's OP.
It was pretty good.
That's also as good. I mean, mine's OP as well. The pullback thing, but getting behind you means you can just body block him. Like now you got to get past me as well.
Do you remember from Paladins, Makoa hook?
Yes.
If you turned while it was pulling,
it would bring him that
direction. It was so good. Yeah. Anyway, well, there's some stuff that we got to do on Sylvanas still before he's really ready, but definitely making progress.
Yeah. Can we ask about the rank reset in OB21, and is it going to be a hard reset? Funny enough, we've been discussing that today. Just to go over a few things, we will be doing a soft reset for OB21, seems to be the target here. We're not going to be, I think the long-term plan is not to do a full reset consistently, like during the year. Once a year, we'll do a full reset, but we will do softs consistently through the year, and we'll get a better pipeline for that going forward. But at the moment, looks like we're going to be aiming for a soft reset for OB21.
Yeah.
And then a full reset in the early stages of next year. No date just yet.
Yeah, and you wanted to, like, you're also just kind of looking at the way the whole system works a little bit.
Yeah, for the most part. It's kind of something that's fall under my purview, so I'm basically just investigating, give you guys updates when I have more of exactly what we're going to see in that. But obviously, OB21 around the corner, soft reset is on the way, and I'll give you more updates as we approach that, which is within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Are there new Halloween themed skins coming? There are more Reaping event travelers in the next update. They're loosely Halloween related, I would say, but not directly.
I don't even know off the top of my head, actually.
More dress up than Halloween, I would say.
See what we did there. Yeah, I mean, dress up is Halloween.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not as, I know what they mean.
My
by
daughter
Halloween
has decided what she's going to be for Halloween, by the way.
Go on.
She's going to be a bat.
Didn't you mention to me the other day you were a potato or something?
Oh, my son. She wants my son to be a potato, but we can't find a potato costume. They don't make potato costumes that are like baby sized.
Just get a potato sack.
Yeah, but
it doesn't work the same.
Yeah, not the same.
I get that.
Anyway,
no more pumpkin heads. Big sad.
Yeah. Is multi-queue in the works? It could help queue times. Not at the moment. It's something we could consider for the future, but the way that our UI works, it's not super obvious how we would reflect that to players. And then just from a tech side, I'm not sure if New Rally here supports multi-queue in the way that our old backend did. So there would be some work to do it. It's not saying that could never happen, but it was relatively unutilized on SMITE 1, so it hasn't been prioritized to bring over. Off-screen damage numbers. What particularly is broken about off-screen damage numbers from your perspective? I'm just not familiar with the issue, so let me know. Did we consider giving Loki an additional aspect instead of replacing his old one? We did not. We currently want each god to just have one aspect to get started. And then maybe at some point we could have multiple aspects per god in the future. But we think right now it's more confusing to have multiple aspects for some gods. Also, our UI doesn't currently support showing multiple aspects. Like the tech in the back end for a god to have multiple aspects is there, but like just doesn't, how you show and select is another element. Also, it's just the old aspect was not good and nobody used it. So it had like
really small amount of player, like
below 100 times it would be used in a week, which is like insanely low. So I don't think that many people miss it. And the new one's pretty fun. I played it a couple times yesterday. Double coins are not working after you did the second update yesterday. I did see a report of that. I believe we are looking at that, but we will follow up on that for sure.
Maybe I did. For the ban phase, can the god screen be expanded on all gods off the start? Currently it collapses, and it is collapsed and on your assigned role to start. I have seen some of this feedback about the lobby stuff, but I know we're still continuing to make improvements.
Yeah, we're still working on the lobby. I did give some feedback yesterday that I do think it should start on the all gods tab to start for banning in ranked, and then go to your specific your role tab. I think we probably will at some point have like a setting to, do you want it to start expanded or smaller? In general, we think that the smaller UI is the direction that we want to be in for kind of first appearance for people. So it probably won't be the default, but probably will give you an option to be able to do that. Rocky wants to know, when are we making a line of just dog skins? I don't know. Let's ask the art team. See what they can do.
Rocky, you go ask the art team.
Yeah. I'm at 20,000 coins, so I can't progress in the wandering path. Is that a bug? Because of that, I can't progress to get chests and diamonds. That is how it works. You cannot continue to gain levels if you are at the coin cap.
There is a limit cap, yeah.
Yeah, but you can now spend coins for free on things in the Wandering Market store.
So spend the coins to earn more coins.
Yeah, it's, you're going to make more very quickly. That's the way that the system works.
I know you guys are not going to do a new map for next. Sorry, I'm not going to do a new map for next year, and that's very understandable. But is there going to be some changes to Conquest? Feels a bit dry. I know we mentioned last week as well that we are looking at some different like loops in the Conquest map to make it more interesting and entertaining. I know there is a look to have those out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we in the roadmap we said that we are targeting OB21 for a big new Conquest gameplay feature that I think mixes up the flow a decent amount. It's always hard to know exactly how players will react to things until they start playing with it.
Sure.
But it's been fun in our playtest, and I think it's been approaching a more finished state. I believe the plan is that we're going to try and show it to ambassadors sometime this week, and get some feedback on, hey, are we good to move forward?
How do you feel about this? Yeah. But I know that also comes with some ideas around like future building blocks for the future of Conquest and Smite in general that I think, I can't describe it more than that, other than like there's building blocks in place as part of this new system that's going to be available that you guys will be able to see, you guys and girls will be able to see quite easily that there's potential for the future of new ideas and fun activities.
What's your favorite aspect so far?
Hecate. I always want to call her
Really?
Hecate. Yeah. I just like Hecate as a character. But I also think she shuts down a lot of spammy gods, which is great. So already before even Hell's even spoken about, I brought Hell into the world. But gods like Hell, gods like Ul, they just get, destroyed by free damage. But I'm also a support player too. So I've just enjoyed her aspect more than most of the others, I want to say. Not that the others are bad at all. I'm trying to think if there's any others that I actually do enjoy. What about yourself?
I think my two favorite... I think Ganesha aspect is just such a different, fun mix-up on Ganesha. And maybe it's a recency bias. It almost certainly is. But I've really enjoyed playing Loki aspect.
Okay.
It's
something different.
Just something different, right? Yeah. It gives me a new support to play, and it's been fun. So
I guess even one on my list is probably Apollo as well. I do enjoy the supporty aspect of it.
Yeah, Apollo's. I rarely remember to use that one, but I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't think about it too much.
I'm like, what support should I play? I don't think of
definitely
Apollo
more
enough.
interesting.
Yeah. Do we know what role the next Saga God will be? If so, will we be willing to share? We do have a pitch right now. It's not 100% locked in, so I don't want to share yet, but we are working through some concepts right now, and I expect that that's what it will end up being, but it's just a little bit too early to share. Apollo aspect needs a buff. I'm not sure about that one. It might, but I don't know what the balance state is on it. There are 3 gods left this year after Sylvanas. Will you reveal all 3 in the next roadmap or only do 2? I think there's 3 gods after. Didn't we? We already said the god after Sylvanas too. Or no, Sylvanas is. What's the order? I don't even remember. Okay, so it's Osiris, Iset, Sylvanas. We've said that.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
there are 3 gods after Sylvanas. We'll probably do all 3 of those in like a single show rather than splitting up into 2, I would guess, because it just makes sense to go through the end of the year.
Yeah.
But
recap the next 3 coming till the end of the year, basically, is what we're saying there.
Yeah. Sorry, for some reason my brain was like, is Iset or Sylvanas?
Yeah, you also mentioned it's 3 goddesses.
I did mention it's 3 goddesses. Yeah, that still is the plan as of right now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just reading through stuff here. Are ranked skins coming to Smite 2, like the old ones from Smite 1? I think there's like pros and cons to, I'm assuming you mean like ranked reward skins. Play X games, get skin, right?
There was also end of the year reward for achieving it. You could get a skin too, but yeah, it's the same thing.
It was, I think there's pros and cons to that. I think that the pro is it feels good to be rewarded for doing a thing. I think the con is that like a lot of people felt like they had to play ranked even though they didn't really want to get the free thing. Yeah. And then there was always complaints about, these, bad people that don't understand how to play ranked are in ranked queues. And like, generally speaking, I think that it's better to let people play the game the way they want to and then just earn rewards by playing the game the way they want to. So I think that like reward skins as a notion, I like. One's tied specifically to ranked. I'm personally slightly less of a fan of, but that doesn't mean that they won't come back.
Okay.
You're mostly talking about porting them, bringing over the old ones. I don't know if I mean, they could be ported over, but if we did, they would probably just be classic skins, and we would just treat them as normal. I don't even remember what any of the ranked reward skins were, other than maybe that.
I remember Anher and Bakasura, but they're like all over the place.
There was like the Kamazot's
Gargoyle one.
Yeah. Anyway.
This has probably been answered already, but if I hit a higher rank than my border and title, will I get updated version alpha at a later date? I hit Master semi-recently and want the pink shiny one at some point. From what I understand, what we're going to be going through, you will get a rank reward for this. Obviously, OB21, we're looking at doing a reset. At the end of the year, we will be doing the borders. I believe it will be based off, depending on the reward as well, just to be clear, but it'll be based off where your highest achievement was during that split. And at the end of the year, the border that we're talking about there will be in relation to your highest overall. So yeah, you should see an increase if you're going for the border at the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, we do need to take a look at this. I know that I've seen this report before, and I thought we looked at it at one point, but apparently it's still not fixed, so we will take a look. Can you write this down?
Yeah.
Everything. Hades' ability 2 is misaligned when using the action cam.
Okay.
We will take a look at that. Apologies.
Done.
The sapling icon. This was one of my pet ideas that I don't think anybody else, no, other people liked it. The general idea was, in Final Fantasy 14, if you're a new player, a little like sprout appears next to your name. And it's kind of like,
hey, this is a new person.
In that community, it works really well because it's like, hey, this person's new, be kind to them.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I think that we just have gotten really mixed feedback on whether players would be kind or not kind towards newer teammates. Mm-hmm. We definitely wouldn't show it to enemies because
I was going to say step one, you can't show your enemies because then D will just pick on those people.
Yeah.
To, abuse the situation of knowing the better.
So. Yeah. So it's like, is it worth? It's really like a human psychology question. In a competitive game, how do people react to it? And because we're so kind of uncertain, it's been more on the back burner because it's one of those ideas that could work really well, or it could just lead to a lot more toxicity and negativity, which really depends on the people in the match. So that's why we haven't moved forward with it yet. Any updates on community builds? I rarely see one updated for the current OB. Most of them are OB 14 or earlier. We probably should take a look at
the actual community build section.
Yeah, just taking a look at, make sure we're updating that every once in a while. That's a good point.
Obviously, with the community builds, for the most part, they are generated by the community. However, there should be some baseline ones that we always have in place.
Well, and because I think it's more like the ones that showing you are the most liked tend to be older because new ones aren't going to be surfaced because they're new.
Yeah.
So it's like we probably need to somehow surface newer builds as part of that. Probably won't be a quick fix, but I think that's a good note of feedback that we should take a look at. On Friday, you said that most players have the self nameplate turned off. Isn't that an indication that the current design is bad? No, I think it's an indication that you already have your health and mana bar really big in the center bottom of your screen, and most people don't look over their heads for that information.
However, if you want the information of your own nameplate above your head, we have the utility for you to turn that on.
Yeah, I think it's a different. It's like if you're playing, if you're playing a third-person shooter, most of the time you do not see your health and mana bar, or you don't have a mana bar in most games. But you don't see like your health bar over your head, even if other players have health bars usually. It's just kind of the way that the game feels versus the way that a top-down MOBA feels, where you would expect to see that over everybody's head.
can we add a stacking item for jungle practice? And I will take a note of this. I know it's been raised before, so I will investigate that. I'm getting a stacking item in there. I know the other question apart from that was like trying to get teammates in there, but I know it's a little bit trickier for us to do. I don't know where we would be on that one.
It's something that we looked at one point, but I'm not sure at this point. We can always take a look. Is it intended that Nemesis can't ult in a vortex? That sounds like a bug. If that is the case.
Ult in a vortex.
Yeah, that seems very odd if that is a bug.
I'll pass that to the team and have them.
But we'll take a look. We've seen weirder bugs before.
Sometimes, though, just to be clear, sometimes you're in a game and something will happen. You'll assume it's something that's caused it, but it's actually something else.
Yeah, well, that person had bought and Chile and was making their vortex ability silence.
Henceforth, you have silence.
Yeah. So
there is always.
There's always sometimes people are like, this thing happened, and then you watch back the video they attached.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this other thing happened.
And that's why when we discuss bugs and stuff, we're always like, please, the more information you can send us, the better, because we can get an eye on it. Because obviously, we'll go in game now and trust Nem versus Vortex and go, nope, seems to be working okay, at least in this situation, but there may be a knock-on effect.
Rod of Tahuti should be removed from the game, in my opinion. We've talked about this before, that right now Rod of Tahuti kind of falls into the same category of must-buy item, the way that anti-heal used to be, and it maybe is something that we will visit in the future. Don't have an update today, but that is something that we are aware of.
Hot take: Aspect Sylve played by 2 players, one of the Guardian and one of the Carry on top. Like Heroes of the Storm. I like that idea, but I don't know. I mean, listen, that's out there, but 2 players locking in on 1 character. Yeah. Who controls him in that situation?
It was...
Does Sylvanas jump off Grover and go separate at certain points?
No, it's just one person controls the movement, the other person controls the shooting. That's
so the other person just moves, that's it? That's all I gotta do is move.
It's like if you're attached to somebody who's Yumi. You're just along for the ride,
So one's doing movement, one's doing abilities.
I think that would be a lot more boring in a third-person game than it would be in a top-down game.
We'd have to add more to that to make that sort of happen.
Would we ever consider multiple aspects down the road? Yeah, I think it's something that we would consider at some point in the future, but it's not... I think first we want to make sure everybody gets one good aspect.
Yeah.
And then we could maybe revisit with additional aspects if we got there. Like Paladins started out with 3 talent. Well, first everybody didn't have talents. There was no talents. And then I think we started out with 3 talents per character, and then we went up to 4.
Yeah.
And then it was like, that's too many, and we went back down to 3. So, I think that it's better to have one really good one for every god, and then let's reassess and say, do we need a second one for every god, or do we need, specific, there's certain gods where we think we could do extra ones for, and if so, why, and how do we reflect that? Did I see a Reddit post about curios that we can add to Joust? I might have. Was it you had mentioned some of the old shards from Smite 1, I believe, and some other things. I am not a designer, so I am not the person who can tell you whether or not I think that is the correct angle for.
What was the question? Sorry, I was making notes.
There are people who think that the current curios in Joust, which are very vision focused, too much vision for that map, and that we'd be better served by putting some other curio on Joust. And this poster had a Reddit thread where they said, hey, we could do some of the things like old shards from Smite 1. I think there was 1 or 2 new ideas too. I don't remember them off the top of my head. Yes, that was it. Okay. I think that we definitely have heard the feedback of doing something different for Joust Curios, maybe. I don't know what design has in mind, but I know, Clumsy was talking to me about some other things this morning, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it lands on the list of priorities.
Kellerman, I just answered that question for you a couple minutes ago. You just keep spamming it.
I love when people just keep posting the question and we answer it. And
then people and then I see frustration that we don't answer questions, and I'm like, I don't get it.
We try.
We really do try.
We really do.
I think something came up because I think you responded to it too. People saying we try to cherry pick questions. We're really not for the most part. I mean, honestly, me and Kilgoon do obviously different departments, but at the same time, the developers who are designing the gods and stuff also have their opinions, and there's sometimes when it's like specific balance stuff and stuff, We don't control that. Like, and so we're like, we want to give feedback on it, but also it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go, yeah, this is definitely happening when it's not our call to make and also not necessarily the right direction. So thoughts on Megabunk? I just saw that.
Yeah.
Will you play that? Megabunk?
I have watched people play it.
Okay.
I have not played it.
It's more fun to play than it is to watch. I'll say that much.
It's, like most roguelikes.
Yeah. It's just a good Steam Deck game. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, like if I'm just on the couch, Steam Deck while watching TV isn't bad. Little
I
game.
played a demo of a game on Steam Deck last night.
Okay.
That was recommended to me by Mick.
Okay.
I thought it was okay.
I'm
not gonna call that
because it was an okay thing. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then I played a round of Brotato. So that was my.
okay. Brotato's not bad.
That was
Yeah.
my roguelike moment.
I've enjoyed Megabunk just for the what it is, and like honestly, the single guy that's been working on that game, congrats to him. Like a successful game. Roguelites.
Somebody likes my shirt.
Always goes to.
This one's from Target. So I wear very fancy clothes, guys. I shop at the finest stores.
I have been in esports t-shirts forever, outside of bow ties and suits, which is the one thing I don't really wear as much anymore.
Smite on Steam Deck. Smite works on Steam Deck. It could run better, but it definitely is playable.
I cannot. I'll be real. I'm not good enough to play Smite on console. Ever since we first introduced it, it just would never fit with me. Just sit with me right of like playing console Smite. I respect everybody that does it because it's not an easy task, and some of the best players are crazy good. With console.
I have gotten to be a pretty good console player because I played quite a lot on console for a while. Recently, I've been playing more on PC just because I'm at the studio working on PC most of the time. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I need to get back into playing more on console again. Are there any limitations that we put on making aspects? Can't change too much of the kit, or always try to change the role it plays? I would say the biggest limitations are more like technically speaking. The goal for aspects is that they should be largely designer implementable, and maybe at most there's like one new FX audio needed, because if we make an aspect that's like, it needs all of this extra stuff, then every time we ever do anything for that character, we have to do that too, right? So it's like, we just made this Artemis skin. It's like, okay, well, we have to make different traps for the aspect traps.
Yeah.
We need different effects for that. And it's just like that stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the main boxes we try and work. And we also try and usually touch like 2 abilities, maybe 3 at the absolute most, but not like, ideally it touches like 1 or 2 abilities substantially, with maybe like lighter things to the other abilities, just because like, the other thing is you want people to have some idea of what a god does.
Yeah.
It's a different take on it, but it's like some idea of what you do when I see it, a god in my game. So those are the kind of rough criteria that we put around it. Christmas tree Sylvanas skin. You're speaking my language. One of my favorite skins in the game. I don't know exactly what the Christmas event skins are. In terms of classic skins, I know what the new skins are, but I hope that skin does come. A happy holiday indeed.
Yeah, a couple of mentions again about jungle practice and trying to do updates there. I'll pass that along to the team to see if we can get some bandwidth to do that. Obviously, like Odin running to be able to target and stuff like that too. Sylvanas
will be hype. I agree. So we've had some hype polls in...
That's what Giannis. That's what Sylvanas has always been about. I mean, it's the same with Giannis with the snipes.
Yeah,
very similar.
Like the amount of like, it's like, oh, it was a great pull. Like, it's just like exciting moments come out of having a Sylvanas in your game, or really low moments if they miss every pull. But that's life. The Yorm roller coaster would be cool. Did you know that?
That would be good.
Fun Spot Atlanta, which is like this tiny little amusement park.
Yeah.
Has one of the best roller coasters in the world.
I did not.
Yeah, it's called Airy Force One.
Okay.
And I've been meaning to go down there and ride it, but it's like the only thing there. So it's like, it's
just
a little bit out of the way.
Coaster. But if it's the best coaster in the world.
It's one of them. It's like top 10 or something.
Okay.
It's not like number 1. But
okay.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
I was just going to gullibly believe you were like, oh, it's the best in the world.
I think I said one of. I didn't.
Okay, maybe you did. Maybe you did. But I heard it as the best.
The tab screen bug for consoles where it won't open if paused or surrender is open. I believe that is known and tracked, but it just hasn't been prioritized. There's like 3 things that we just keep bumping down, and that's one of them. So it is something we're aware of. I don't have a fix for it yet. Tell the art team I appreciate them. I appreciate them too. Thanks, art team. We have a water parks are better than roller coasters take. Is that a hot take or is it a cold take?
It's just a take, isn't it?
That's
That's how I. But everyone's got an opinion on whether water parks or depends on the time of year too. I mean, to be honest, they both kind of fall in the same time of year for the most part.
It's a wet take. Oh, that's a good response. Will we wear a Christmassy outfit before we do winter break? Maybe we'll.
I'll do that over Halloween, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, are we doing Halloween? I mean, it's the 31st. I was going to mention this to you off air, but I guess we can talk about it.
Do we have a show on the 31st?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Happy times. It's not like I've not dressed up too many times for this place already. But here we go again. Yeah, maybe.
Any news on lasagna? No. We continue to see the lasagna memes.
Lasagna.
Yeah. Excuse me. We all better dress up. Yeah. We're probably going to.
It'll be a Santa outfit at best for me. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, I might underwhelm you guys a little bit, but I have like
an elf hat.
I've got like a Care Bear onesie.
Oh, okay.
Could do that. I've got.
So he's gonna wear your bedtime onesie and go, yep, job done. Sounds good.
What do we plan to do with the dance VGS button? More emotes. I don't think we have plans for it right now. The dances from SMITE 1 weren't ever really used very much, so we haven't prioritized bringing those over. I think it's just kind of part of the VGS tree and it stayed there. But at some point, we'll think if there's something that we could do that's cool with it.
Has there ever been any further discussion on Zeus Shield? Not at the moment. I don't believe we've had any further discussions about Zeus Shield at the moment. It seems to be Zeus is the way he is right now.
Yeah, I think that it's like one of the things we deal with a lot is like player perception, or not player perception, but like player expectations, I guess is the right way. And I feel like if we did an aspect for Zeus, people would expect it to be the shield.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we didn't do the shield is because there were a lot of issues with Shield Zeus, and just like from a gameplay perspective. Sure. And it would also just be a lot. It'd be a big aspect to bring back Shield. It'd be a lot of work because there's a lot that goes into making that shield work properly. So I think that's one of the reasons why we've been hesitant to do a Zeus aspect, because it's like
everyone expects this.
Everyone expects that, but do we really want to do that?
Yep.
And if we do, when do we commit to do it because it's a bigger thing? For Zeus in particular, I know that the shield has been a difficult thing for us to work around that expectation.
Just gonna make a note. I saw that about Wukong not really getting build options in quick play, so I'll just make a note of that.
Yeah, we can definitely take a look. Warrior melee Zeus with a shield bash. So that goes into the line of things that are a little bit harder, because you would need a new animation to go with the shield bash, and then everything would then have to respect that going forward forever. So, it's a thing that we could maybe do. We've not. I don't think we've turned a ranged god into a melee god as an aspect yet. So if we find one that has, I guess we did already. We did Kurnos.
I was gonna say there's definitely one or two. Yeah.
I was thinking we turned Kali from
Kern
melee
definitely top
into
two
range.
in my mind. Yeah,
but I was thinking the other like range into melee. But yeah, Kurnos. I play Kurnos aspect all the time. I don't know why I didn't think of it. How do you feel about the current balance of the game? Open-ended question.
I would say, personally, I'd say it's kind of okay at the moment. I still think there's a couple of things that we're continuing to work on and stuff, but also I've not been as active the last couple of days on SMITE like I normally am, and the ones that have seen me in queues know I generally play quite a bit, but I've just not had the time the last couple of days, so I don't want to pass judgment based off today, yesterday, and the last couple of days, because I've just not had a chance. But overall, I do think I think we're in a decent point. I know there's still complaints about like healing in certain game modes and stuff like that, but I think some of that is just player knowledge and learning to play around it a little bit. Maybe there's one or two overtuned, but I don't think the balance of the game is in a terrible spot. Hunters are a little bit sleeper. I mean less sleeper than they were now, but yeah.
I think I've had a lot of fun close games. Every once in a while you see somebody pop off, but you never know if it's like, is it the god or is it the person? You know, I think that maybe there's a couple gods that we should look at, but I think that overall the balance feels pretty good to me personally. Again, not a designer, so they probably have more thoughts on it than I do.
Too many lifesteal items. I think lifesteal is just in vogue right now, just because they saw some major changes in the itemization for that, and the healing just sees a lot more of these lifesteal builds coming through. But I know they're going to continue to adjust them if they're over-tuned for sure.
Yeah. I see people complaining about pride flags in chat.
Yeah.
People
let them have an opinion and let's just move on. I'm not going to get into stupidness over people.
I was just going to say, like,
should be in game or not, you know?
The story
live and let live. Move on.
We forgot to do them for Pride Month because we didn't remember, and chat was very upset, and there were a lot of people who were like, hey, those should be in the game. And we were like, yeah, we probably should bring those over. Those were a thing that we had in SMITE 1. Atlanta celebrates Pride in August because it's really hot in the summer. So we were like, oh, we'll try and bring them in around that time and carve some time out and do it. It was not, there's no culture war. There's no anything. The community asked us to bring over Pride badges. We brought over Pride badges. I'm sorry if you're offended, but it's a flag badge, dude. Like, let's move on.
I had one. I've lost it now. I was trying to find it again as you were saying
that. Why no country flags? I will say this one we could do, but it was kind of haphazardly done for SMITE 1 in that we didn't like go through the list of countries and do every country's flag. And because of that, people now think that we were being racist
picky.
Is not the right word.
No, picky, but like, yeah.
Like we don't like certain countries because we didn't do their flags.
And it was never the intention.
It was never the intent.
There's
it was
just so many
like,
countries.
Yeah, we were going down like in terms of like when we had like a player base from that country that like asked us for a flag, we would put it in. And that's kind of how we did it in the early days. So I think we only had flags for like maybe 100 countries at most. Maybe it's 80. I don't know. It's definitely not all the countries. But anyway, because we didn't do flags for all the countries, now people are like considered us to be, again, disrespecting certain countries. So it's like, if we did it, we would probably need to go back and like do flags for all the countries. And then that's just like a lot of badges to hook up, and we'd have to create a bunch of new flags. And it just kind of was like wading into geopolitical politics seemed like it was more of a thing than bringing over something that existed in SMITE 1 particularly. So we were like, we're going to bring over, you know, the flags that existed in SMITE 1 for Pride, didn't add any of the other ones because there are like aspects of that community that aren't reflected with those flags. And we're just going to wait on country flags until a future when we have more time to think about it.
New Ones 1, I've seen this in chat a couple of times from Jack. New Ones 1 provides a soul gem stack for buffing herself. Is this intended? And if so, why doesn't Hokati provide a soul gem stack? I will talk to the devs and see what they think about that. I agree with you that the 3 probably should provide a stack, considering the New One does. So.
When you click on View Abilities on God Selection phase, the window can only be closed by pushing the escape key. Can you make it closable with mouse click?
If a mouse click? Okay.
Probably there should be a way to do that. We can take a look.
Was this today? Because I know we did a couple of hotfix regarding closing those down, opening them up.
I don't know. Maybe today's hotfix fixed it already. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can we fix the UI controls on the main tab so we can go from home to events using L1 on console in reaping event tabs? If you can write that down, we can take a look at it. I don't know. How do you navigate it now? I wonder if it's already like mapped to something on that screen.
Yeah.
That's sometimes the issue, is that like the button's already reserved.
I feel like I'm typing so many notes.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just feel bad when I'm not interacting with more than that.
Any updates on the movement system? Not yet. No. We're still working on it in the background, working on some, trying to get everything done.
If there's any bug report, if you guys are sending bug reports, I'm not writing down every single bug report you got here. SMITE2.com/bugs. There's also a exclamation S2 bugs in chat, so you can get a quick link to that. I am not going to sit here and just take bug reports all day, although that could be kind of interesting for me just to take notes. And at the same time, I'm not going to do it like this on stream. So.
No, I appreciate you taking some
time.
Yeah,
listen, the ones that we can like investigate and look into for sure and get repeated, but I'm not just going to do that, guys. That's not how this bug system's going to work. Okay, thanks.
Not a question. I just want to say I love this game. I love the game too. It's really fun. It's a good game.
We appreciate that you love the game. And honestly, hopefully you continue to love so. And we'll continue working on it. So thanks.
Can we buff Prophetic Cloak? Its stacking takes forever. In Smite 1, it required 30 stacks. Now it's 40.
Yeah, but the effects of it in Smite 1 versus Smite 2 have adjusted too. Listen, we are not the guys who balance the game. Yeah, I'm just going to put that out there again. But yeah.
I mainly took this question because I played a arena Loki aspect game, and I was like, I have never stacked a Prophetic Cloak faster in my life. Because you got the big circle.
You throw the 2 out and it's just,
I get like 3 stacks every time I throw it out. It was great. I loved it. It was so much fun. So it would be fun if it stacked faster. But it may be balanced and it doesn't need it. But I just had a fun experience with it. So that's why I took the question.
Hindu announcer pack when? I'll tell you. Season 2 of Smite 1. And it's already re-released in game right now. Available in the chest. Maybe it does need an update. Maybe I'd do one in the future, but not right now.
Where's the White Soul showed during PTS? Will she come back? We updated that skin to try and make it more interesting. There is kind of a white and blackish gold, I think, are the color schemes of it. It was the final version that came out. We had gotten some feedback from people that the prisms for that skin were just a little bit basic. They were very monotone and underwhelming. So we did these newer ones. Overall, the feedback, I think, has been more positive towards. However, we do get a lot of people posting about the white prism in particular. We didn't throw that in the trash. It would be possible to bring it back, but we just don't have a firm plan for how we would bring it back at this point. So it's definitely something that could happen in the future.
Can parts of Grover's voice be used to have him talk in Smite 2? I don't know.
Yeah. I was asking all sorts of, like, can we steal this from Paladins?
But the game's like, it's the god Sylvan, it's not Grover. I just want to point that out, okay? Like, only if Grover says something like when he misses a pull, like sorry, or something like that, you know? So you can forgive yourself. Stupid Grover.
Grover, you big lump.
That would go together well. That wasn't a bad impression either.
He says that's one of his lines.
Yeah, I know that's the impression wasn't bad.
Thank you. I'm a horrible impression guy, but that was okay. Any plans to upgrade from Unreal Engine 5.5 to 5.6? Not at this time. If usually going just one version doesn't really give us very much, and it causes a ton of headaches. Just going from 5.3 to 5.5 was a surprisingly massive undertaking. And what we've found is that every time, like, the engine's better. It's the higher number. Something is inevitably worse. Like usually it's like there are improvements in certain areas. Certain things that you were using don't work the way that they used to, so now they are less performant. And it's just a big challenge to upgrade that doesn't usually come with too many benefits. There were enough things that happened in 5.5 that we needed to take it to get the tools, but 5.6 I don't think is adding a lot that we feel like we really want to get right now. Can we get assists if players die on your wards? Maybe then players will ward, and those who do will get benefits. I think that a reveal kill is interesting. I think that, like, I think there's something there, but I think that an assist is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe too powerful for that, but I do agree that, like, some sort of vision, like, positive reinforcement loop is probably needed. I will say, I was very skeptical going into this Curio world that no one would use them and it would still be zero vision games. People are warding a surprising amount.
Yeah.
Some people still don't ward.
Here's the thing. No one's buying wards anymore because they're just using the free one.
Sure.
But it's seeing more vision on the map, I guess, because the amount of times I've seen games where there's 0 wards placed by someone, at least it says like 7 now.
Yeah.
They never bought a ward.
No.
However, they used the Curio.
Something,
so
yeah.
I guess that's better than nothing.
We did it.
We're getting there.
Good job, us. UE5 gets a lot of hate. Do you think it's not as bad as the hate it gets? I think UE5 is a very powerful engine that if it wasn't for UE5, we would not be able to move at the speed that we are moving with development. That is 100% a fact. The gameplay ability system in particular is just so good. If it wasn't for that, like it would take us 3 or 4 times as long to make a god. And I'm not being facetious. It is that game changing. There's a bunch of other things about it that are also really good. I think the only issue that it has, which unfortunately is a big one, is that it is not as performant as past versions of Unreal were, right? Because it's trying to do a lot more stuff.
Sure.
I think we've continued to optimize, and we've gotten to the point where you can get pretty decent performance, but there's a lot of things that you need to do to really get a competitive game that wants to be played at a high frame rate with UE5. If you're trying to make like a 30 to 60 FPS cinematic game that's super high resolution, the engine is better suited towards doing that from like a visual perspective. But I still it would be hard for me to advocate using anything else for the game that we're making, given the amount of benefits that we've gotten out of it.
Can we change tower aggro damage resetting once a different person starts taking tower Phoenix? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, Siggy, but like reach out to me after this and we can talk about it more. I know you're one of the streamers, so just reach out to me because I'm confused by what you mean by like resetting. I know there was an issue with his Jablonki Ultimate, but that's a completely different thing, so I'm not sure what you mean by
probably what he's saying is like, because each fireball does increasing damage, and probably it starts at the lowest number again instead of...
It should increase. I know, that's what I wanted to just clarify exactly what it was. Yeah.
Any passes coming on balancing the gods' attack range. They aren't even and give some gods a lot more poke ability.
I think that's by design in a weird way that some characters will outrange others in a lot of regards. There's not. I think a good example of that is your Jablonki Ultimate will empower your auto attacks to be further afield. However, that's always a thing of like benefits, negatives of a god. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be like a balancing of like everyone must now shoot at this distance only.
DKO and Paladins as skins. Those definitely cool skins, cool characters in those games. The issue is that those models would not ride the rigs, the bones of our characters in Smite 2. So effectively, it would be an extremely challenging skin for us to create. It's not. People see it existing in another game and they're like, oh, that's free to bring over. But it is not free because it is a different proportioned model that doesn't ride the same rig. Potentially you can start with some starting points of design inspiration and speed up a little bit, but it is not an easy skin to make. I did not watch the Jiri versus Khalil Roundtree fight. Sorry. What role is your favorite, and what would you consider great for beginners?
Oh, in the roles or in terms of gods?
I'm going to say, like style of play or role or
honestly, playing backline is definitely the better play as a new player. In my opinion, try to play melee. Maybe your go-to, right? You might want to be in there.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall deep. But the problem is that when you're in that deep, you're going to die quicker.
Sure.
You're going to realize, wait, why am I dead all the time? I think playing backline and realizing your spacing and map position is really important. So I'm always going to recommend people like Neith Ra. You know, like those sort of easy cookie cutter backliners to an extent. I guess Sylvanas, when he comes out, will be pretty good for a supportive role, but Capri's also good, although kind of twisted. But I definitely will always advise like staying at range for a little bit, get used to the distance of it and see the fights rather than other angle of it, play Hercules or Bologna and just run until you die.
Yeah.
You know, like there's two variations of it. I definitely advise people to like keep some range though, just because it'll feel a little bit better on survivability.
Yeah, I think Ra is a really good new player god. I think that like
the OG Smite ones, like the OG release cards like Anher, stuff like that, ones that are going to give you good peel or self peel, survivability and stuff is always going to be useful.
Yeah. How is Sobek aspect designed to be played? Generally don't know how to make it work in Conquest. So it's supposed to be more of a jungle aspect. I don't know if it's one of the ones that we're the happiest with, but yeah, the idea is basically like you can gank from behind them and then push them push them away from their tower.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of plucking and pulling back. That's the goal for the aspect. I think again, I don't know if it's one of our best aspects, but that was the goal for that one. Well, it's wild. This guy is still posting.
He's really upset about his flag situation.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Get a life. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, it's 2:00, which means it's time for one more question.
What are you drinking today? Because I think we're drinking something similar.
I am now drinking the mint water, just because everyone was upset about me not doing it. Is it called Hint? I call it mint.
What flavor is that? That's blackberry.
The blackberry.
I have the citrus raspberry twist Hint.
Oh.
It's water infused with raspberry, lime, and orange essences and other natural flavors.
That was the question. I got distracted.
We got to pick some actual questions here now.
I'm always going to try and choose a good one rather than just something like, are we going to get this skin? Because I feel, if I can. Are you not getting any sleep? No, I'm suffering from insomnia at the moment, real bad. But this is not the question I'm going to answer.
Son just
but also, you've got kids, so like,
my son was up for like half the night. I don't know why. It was just like he had been sleeping pretty well, but not last night. Last night was not a good sleep night.
Our custom game's going to get bands back. We used to have a website for comp now. Yeah, obviously with the rollout of this patch and the custom game situation of the new rank lobby, we have seen an effect on the custom games. It is something we're looking to reutilize in the future and bring back.
Was my son grinding ranked all night? No. My son, I say this in a loving, humorous way. He's trying to learn how to twerk right now.
Okay.
Like, because as they're like trying to stand up, they're like doing this like up and down, little like, and like that's all he wanted to do, like for like 3 hours in the middle of the night last night, was just like hold on to something and twerk. And I was like, okay, thanks, buddy. Anyway, I had to pick a real question. Anybody know how Ranked Arena actually performed? It was very unpopular. I think in large part because it was not fun. Arena is a game mode that I think works best when people are just kind of playing it for fun. If you take it too seriously, a lot of the rules of it kind of break down.
Yeah.
And we saw that with Ranked Arena, where it's like a lot of people are just scared to do anything.
Yeah.
Waiting for the perfect moment instead of just going in.
Yeah. Instead of being like a more exciting fight each other consistently sort of phase, the competitive high-level way of playing this was not to fight.
Apparently that was a question for chat and not for us, so I have to take a different question.
Yeah, take a new one now. I was going to go into it too.
How are ads going? I've seen them on multiple social media sites like Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit.
I guess they're going okay. First of all, I guess they're going okay if other people have seen them.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't necessarily want it for the players that are currently playing, but that happens.
It does happen, and I'm less targeting them away from existing players right now just because we're kind of working up base. And we also can track now when we get players that come back and start playing again after seeing an ad that haven't played in a while. So there is some benefit of that. We're still not spending very much money at all. We're still kind of figuring out what's working and what's not working. We're just running them across different platforms, trying to see, like I said, what's working, what's not working, and we're gonna go from there, right? I think that like sometimes the algorithm, if it's like you are the kind of person that wants to see this ad, you will see the ad a lot. And you'll be like, these guys are spending a ton of money on these ads, and we are not spending very much money at all. Like our daily lunch bill for the studio is more than we are spending on ads right now, probably, right? It's not a ton of money. So, but we definitely are working on them. It's testing a combination of screenshots and videos and, banner ads and all sorts of different stuff and seeing what's working and what's not working. So it's been good.
Well, that's all we have time for today, as it's now 2:05 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday, though, to give you more of a Titan Talk update, probably with more hotfix updates for you all as well. And we'll see you all then. But in the meantime, we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.